Hello, welcome back. So today we're going to look at triangle trigonometry. Let's start off by looking at some trigonometric ratios that you should be familiar from geometry. So let's take a look at sine. So sine of an angle theta is equal to the opposite leg over the hypotenuse. So in this case it would be y over h. The cosine is the adjacent leg over the hypotenuse, which would give us the x over h. And then our tangent is our adjacent over, it's the opposite over the adjacent, which would give us the y over x. Okay, so let's take a look at an example where we're actually going to solve. So this first one, we have a triangle, a right triangle, that has an angle of 15, one leg hypotenuse of 20, and the other one is x. So if we're going to solve this, let's write down what we have. So I have the opposite over hypotenuse. So that means I'm going to use my sine. So sine of 15 is equal to the opposite, which is x over 20. And I want to solve for x. So that means I need to multiply by 20 on both sides of the equation. And then my last step is just to input that into your calculator. Make sure that your calculator is in degrees so that you get 5.176. All right, so there's two more laws, the laws of sines and cosines. And notice that these rules are going to be for triangles that are not right triangles. Okay, and what this rule says is if you take sine of A over A, it's equal to sine of B over B, which is equal to sine of C over C. And the law of cosines is C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. And be careful with which one's little c and which one's big C. I colored those in orange for you. Okay, so let's take a look at an example. So if we're finding the missing value for the variable C, and we have this example, let's start with what we know. So I have sine of 105 over C, and I can write another ratio of sine of 35 over 7. And now I have this fraction, so I can solve for C by cross multiplying. So we're going to cross multiply. That gives me 7 times sine of 105 equals C times sine of 35. Now to get the C by itself, I have to divide by sine of 35 on both sides. So after we divide by both sides, sine of 35, you're just going to input that whole thing into your calculator as you see it. So 7 times sine of 105, that whole thing divided by sine of 35, and you get 11.8. So that was all for today. Thank you for watching.